Saxton, do you ever eat our cafeteria food for lunch?
Absolutely. One of some of my personal favorites were the green onions, green scene. You can't beat buffalo chicken sandwich or buffalo chicken wrap. Have you ever had one of those?
No.
Alright, well, I'll tell you this. Big buffalo chicken fan. Or, depends. Mr. Saxton forgets to pack his lunch, and I'll go into the faculty lounge. I mean, very similar food, but every now and then.
What kind of food do the faculty eat?
It's pretty much similar. There's a few more we will call gourmet things because they're not cooking for 1,600 kids. They're cooking for 70 staff members who may eat in there. So you may see some specialty pizzas that they make in house. They make, like I said, some of those designer pizzas that you see at a regular pizza shop because they don't have to make hundreds of those. They have to make 2 or 3, so it's a little bit easier. But chicken patties is the staple. You can guarantee that you can get a chicken patty almost any day in the faculty lounge.
Have you ever thought about trying to bring in outside food other than just Little Caesars?
Absolutely. Mrs. Sanders is our food supervisor. She's in charge for the food service for the whole district. We talked about, I'm a big believer, one, I love Arby's, but I'm a big believer in Arby's because, I don't know if everyone knows this, but I do. The first Arby's was in Boardman, Ohio. We're the home of Arby's. So I don't know why we don't make more of a connection. And that's just an example. I'm not just totally focused on Arby's, but that was one idea I had since we're the home Arby's. We try to get Arby's to come in. Maybe like Wednesday would be Arby's Day, and they'd have just a roast beef sandwich. And they try it one time. The problem is, it's impossible, not impossible, but it's very hard to get students, you guys, to pre-order. Nobody wants to do that. You want to just show up and buy it. Nobody wants to order it a day ahead of time, 2 days ahead of time. So the problem we have is you bring 50, you bring 100, you bring 300. We never know. And the leftovers, the local restaurants won't always take back. So it's a real balance between predicting what the students are going to eat and making sure that we're not losing money and having all this leftover food.
If they were to do that, how would the students pre-order it? Do you just
I would say, like, the idea we had was maybe like every Wednesday we could pick like maybe 4 or 5 local food places. You know, whether it's fast food or it's just something that's, I don't know, like a Cafe Capri, and say Wednesday is Arby's Day. The next week it's Taco Bell Day, and they just have 1 or 2 items. And then on Monday and Tuesday, you just pre-order. And maybe, like we did, if you're here for the cookout we do on prom, you just get a little ticket. That way we already know how many to buy ahead of time. It would probably take some training to get people used to realize that you have to buy. You can't just show up on Wednesday and get it. If we get students used to doing that, then it would actually be feasible. We probably could pull it off.
Do you think it would financially help Boardman High School to bring it in? Because, I mean, I think a lot of students would buy lunch like more if they had stuff that was
they recognized
that students liked better, like Taco Bell and whatever.
Well, there's a balance. One, believe it or not, food service is not a for-profit. Basically, we have to pay our bills. We can't run it in the negative, and we're not out to make oodles of money. We're not. We have to pay for the food itself, the cafeteria workers, and the cost of preparing the food. So that's how lunch prices are set, in case you're wondering how lunch prices are set. We'd have to take a look at, will bringing that food in make us so we're running in a positive. Second thing is, nowadays the state and the federal have so many restrictions on what you can and cannot sell. And it's getting tougher. New laws are coming into place. So as long as the food was met the nutritional requirements set by the state and the federal government, we could bring it in.
Okay, so then why, other than like pre-ordering, haven't we brought in outside restaurants like other schools have? Like, I don't know if you ever knew that one of the Massillon schools has a cafeteria with restaurants in it.
Well, a lot of places have done, what's the term I'm looking for? They contract out. So I don't know, I'm not familiar with Massillon. I don't, maybe they don't even have a cafeteria service. Sometimes what they do is they just contract that out to an outside service. I mean, we use an outside food service to bring the food in, and then we prepare it, but sometimes they just completely contract out. So maybe that's what Massillon did. You know, they've broken that up into a couple different food services. Basically, it's a balance of what we nutritionally are allowed to serve and can we make it work financially. So a little bit of, again, we talked about at one point converting the end closest to the gym, where the square tables are. And you guys can picture that in your mind. Actually into a little mini food court. But financial times hit, we didn't have the funds to build that. So that idea got put on hold. We went to a really small scale, the green scene. And so we did that because it didn't cost much to put it on, and we made some in-house salads and wraps instead.
Okay, so you said there was like state standards of food. Do you find the food that we eat to actually be healthy?
It has to be. Or it has to be. The state comes in and checks. If you take a look at the changes, even in the vending machines, if you look what we used to serve in the vending machines to what we serve in the vending machines, even the ones run by the Pepsi Corporation, even they've had to change. I mean, there's a whole list. Even the teachers are governed by that. They're even supposed to change what they hand to students. I know, yeah, there's no food police, so the teachers get arrested when they hand you a donut. But technically, you're not supposed to see donuts, a bagel or a muffin.
Did like any of the food sales go down when you changed it all? Because I remember when we were freshmen, there was like cookies, Rice Krispies, all kinds of stuff.
Probably initially, yeah. I'd tell you the number. I don't know if it's since you guys have been here. The number one selling item at Boardman High School, my first 5 years here, French fries. Did they have French fries when you guys were here?
They still have French fries.
Yeah, but it was a different type of French fry. I mean, they had French fries every day for everything, and people were buying French fries left and right. But French fries was the staple food. But I think whenever the food guidelines change and we have to adjust, you do see sales dip a little bit. Then I think students adjust, and we adjust. We find out what kids like, and we try to buy more of it. If you think back to about 3 years ago on Diversity Day, we had like an International Foods Day in the cafeteria. A lot of the foods that we tried, I think one of the things that the students really liked was the like the General Tso's chicken. You see that now. And I know the one day they even tried sushi out of the green scene. Just they're trying different things that we're allowed to serve and see what kids like.
What do you anticipate the problems with it would be if you did bring in outside food?
Again, just we get a balanced nutrition and making sure the budget's got to stay steady. We can't have swings in the budget like a roller coaster. We got to be financially stable. If we can find a way to do it financially, I think nowadays with the way funding is, you got to be creative. You got to find what kids like. You got to find what you can serve, and when you can make the two match, that's definitely a good deal.
And do you think this could help the community at all, like the restaurants?